Oh, for us? For
Wow.
us?
For me, or is there someone behind us? Are there people?
Is there someone
no,
behind both of us? Is there
I
someone
think
behind
it's-
both of us
I think it's
simultaneously?
us, man.
Is there Hall behind you and Oates behind me? Simon behind you? Garfunkel behind me?
That would be. They're all alive, right? No,
Yeah.
they're not. They
In
are.
our hearts.
Okay.
No matter what. Yeah.
I'm not gonna look it up. What if there's Simon and Oates?
Oates.
Simon and Oates.
Simon and Oates.
Sounds like a cereal. Hey,
Hey everybody, how's it going?
you're the host. You're the
yeah,
host.
so I'm gonna be kicking this off. Welcome to ABCD. Before we get into the meat and potatoes of this, folks, I want to introduce you to our co-host this week, voted most likely to be co-host. It's Sandeep Parikh.
Wow, thank you so much. It's great to live up to my. Thank you. It's great to live up to my yearbook superlative. I'm so excited. And look, I'm gonna just flip it right back to introducing our host. He's he's a leader. He's a world leader even. But and really, there's only one thing problematic about him is that it's just not enough facial hair. I just more facial hair, and the world demands it. The world wants it. Omar Najam, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Like a forehead goatee.
What is a forehead goatee?
I don't know. It's like I guess a unibrow gone mad.
I want a border around your face, not your head, just your face. That's
like
perfect.
a chia pet kind of situation.
Folks, this is our show, ABCD, American-Born Chatty Desis. It's a podcast within a live stream within our lives as two American-born Desis. It's a pod duckin'. This is for anyone out there who, like us, is navigating your cultural identity and you just want to chat it out.
Yes, and on tap for today, we do this in 3 parts, baby. We got our chakra check-in, where we check in on our alignment, and today we're talking about the C in ABCD. Okay, listen, in our show, obviously we redefined it as chatty, but originally it's American-born confused Desis, and there's something that I think we're both pretty confused about, and that's Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister of India, recently visiting the United States, having this joint press conference with President Biden, and I just don't think we really know how to entirely feel about it, or Desi politics in general. So yeah, let's do what we do best when we're confused. We're gonna chat it out. Number 2 is we play a little game, and we're gonna have the Prime Minister debate. Meaning, what if Omar and I were? This is the final debate, and we're gonna get thrown some topics from our technical director Delvin, and chat is going to vote who is going to be the Prime Minister of ABCD. How about that? That's what we're going to do.
I'm in.
And then, of course, we always end the show with Desi of the Week, baby.
Yes.
And we got a good one for this week.
Oh, I'm so excited. It's so good.
They're always good.
But really quick, we got to talk about our sponsors, because we got 2 great sponsors this week. The first sponsor is Desi Quest, an actual play TTRPG set in the South Asian mythology-inspired universe built by star GM Jasmine, that Bronze Girl Buller, with a stellar cast that includes Critical Role darling Anjali Bhamani, Dimension 20 darling Rekha Shankar, and 2 more darlings, Sandeep and me. That's right.
I'm the darling.
And we have, I believe our trailer is up, right?
Our trailer
is that correct?
up. We've been hinting at it forever. You guys can go to DesiQuest.com and absorb a full minute of action-packed joy with all of our lovely faces, and see the set, see the feel of the show, the chemistry. We're so excited about it. So please do go check that out. Yeah.
Check it out. That's DESIQUEST.com. And folks, really quickly, I just want to say there is so much passion and love and creativity poured into the show. This is not one where we just said, oh, let's just hop on a table and just play some games. There is a huge world built out that you will see and hear and experience, and at times, dare I say, we taste. So check it out.
For sure.
Head over to the website.
Yeah, our second host, kind of in line in a way, is you guys. It's you guys, because you are the people that supported the show. We kickstarted the show, Daisy Quest, and also our Patreon members that support this show, ABCD. So if you want to join our little ABCD fam, then please head over to the Patreon, patreon.com/EffinFunny. We're now on double strike.
We are.
For those of you wondering, we're on double strike. So there's more than one way that we can't get work. Which is lovely. We want to support labor, of course, because we are labor. And so, but you can still help us. You, the people, can help us by contributing. There's a bunch of fun subscriber benefits that include getting your name listed in this very show in the credits. So please head on over to their patreon.com/EffinFunny.
Yeah,
help us keep the lights on, baby.
Also, real quick, in case there's any confusion when folks are, because I've seen some conversations online where folks are like, who do I support where? Should I not watch anything? Should I not support anything? If it's not helping the studios, then you're set. Like, you're gold. You're and so this is just,
like,
the
go to an
Patreon
improv
just goes
show.
here. Yeah,
go see some stand-up. That's totally fine.
I promise that won't help CBS. Like, I assure you.
Yeah, I know. But it's nice that people care enough to be like, hey, I want to, back up, for the workers. So we appreciate that.
Thank you. We appreciate that so much.
Also,
we are in solidarity.
Real quick, I don't know if I was gonna say this.
No,
never
let's
mind.
do it. Let's do it. No, let's do it.
I was gonna say show up Tuesday, but then I realized that by the time this episode airs, people won't have heard. So never. But just, you know what? Just always be on the EffinFunny Twitch.
Yes. Yeah.
And then,
for our live listeners, we have a solidarity show that we're doing on Tuesday, July 18th. And if you're listening in the past, check out the VOD. Head over, check that out. It was a great show.
There you go.
We had a really
such
good
a
time.
Good show.
It was so
funny.
God.
I can see 3 days into the future. I don't know if you know this about me. And the show was incredible. It was so good.
It's amazing.
So,
you can't tell me what Friday's looking like?
I only see things in like feelings. Okay. So let's just say this: stay inside on Friday. Okay.
What are you feeling? What
Dread?
led to that? Oh man, gift of the Magi. I stay inside, and that's the thing that leads to my demise. All right, folks. Let's head into our first act. It's the Chucker Check-In.
Ooh. All right. So yes, we're checking with our chakras, and I'll say very disaligned maybe on this. So Prime Minister Narendra Modi. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, he is the 14th Prime Minister of India. He's been serving since May 2014. Under his tenure, India has experienced, arguably democratic backsliding, and has been described as directing a political realignment towards right-wing politics, and is a controversial figure over his Hindu nationalist beliefs. Depending on if you're asking my dad, though, you might get a different explanation for that.
Right.
Most recently, Modi's BJP party, that's the party that sort of that he leads. They lost control in the 2023 Karnataka state elections to India's opposition Congress Party, which kind of dealt a big blow to his ruling party, and which he had fought hard to try to retain that power. So there's some shifting balance in power, but really like he also just came to the U.S. and so I think in seeing our president with India's president, there's a lot to sort of like potentially unpack there, or India's prime minister rather, a lot to unpack there in terms of where we live in this. So let's talk about that in whatever we want to. Is this something that how do you sort of digest Indian politics?
That's what a great first question to start with, because here's the thing is I'm not quite sure what the best sources of Indian politics analysis is.
It's my uncle.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right. Well, that answers that question there.
Just call Dilip Uncle.
Yeah.
He's sure to pick up. He answers every call,
Yeah.
even if he's even if he's watching like a play. He'll answer the call.
Just out
Uh,
loud.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay, so in that
yeah.
case we'll go throat
So there you go.
chakra.
Yeah,
Um um I like it's hard for me to fully understand the like best like even in the US I struggle to be like on an ongoing basis what's the best sources of information for an analysis
I
per
know.
topic.
This is the
And
problem. Oh, sorry. I just jump in with just like because we were
yeah.
talking a little bit about this before, which was just like I don't know which like even when I read an article that's from like say the Times of India
Yeah.
or the Hindustan Times or
Yeah.
whatever it is, I'm like, oh, is this their liberal rag? Is this the
Yeah.
like is this their Fox News? Like
Is this state
I'm not totally
media?
sure like that.
Yeah.
So I need to bone up on that even. Um,
What I so my kind of attempt is and I should be better about it, I understand, but like what I essentially do is I'll try to look at like three different news sources. So I'll be like what's BBC saying, what's maybe like our
mhm.
NPR station saying, and then like what's a local Indian source saying, and then start to look at the scatter shot
You
of
triangulate. You
I try to
triangulate your
triangulate.
position. I like it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's not always easy. And then from there,
Yeah.
I'll kind of like sometimes talk to family or friends, and get like their impression, and that gives me more of the cultural heartbeat of what's
Yeah.
happening. Because also a lot of my family I don't agree with politically, and so it really
Right.
is just getting that pulse, and then I can come to my conclusions from there. So how about you?
I go to this random blog that I found
Okay.
that describes whether or not what the political views of the newspapers are.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, because I always forget, and then I'm like, oh yeah, it says here, that's right, listed under centrist or center left or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. The Telegraph is very left, and
Right.
sort of tell me, but then I'm like, wait, can I trust this blog?
Right.
I don't know. I don't know. Are they center left? Are they extreme right? I don't know. So I mean, this is it's a challenging thing. I just know that here's what I know.
Yeah. What do you
Here's
know?
here's what I know.
Yeah.
I love my dad.
Yeah.
I love my dad. I know that
Let's
I
get
love
to the
my
heart of
dad.
matter. Yes. Okay. Yeah. The
So
man himself.
this hits me in the heart chakra
Uh-huh.
because I, you know, my dad is a liberal American voter.
Right.
He voted for Biden's. I mean, I guess that depends on where you are on the left spectrum, whether you consider that left. But he's always voted Democrat.
Yeah. On the binary. Right.
Yeah, on the binary exactly. But you know, is a proud, out loud supporter of Modi.
Right.
And when I try to engage him on the topic, it's challenging. We get into some big arguments because
Mhm.
I have a tough time with statements like, um, you know, well, it should, it's time to just get the Muslims out,
Right.
or these brazen statements. I'm like, that's not you. Who? This is not
Yeah.
you. This is not the dad I was raised. Like, what is going on here?
Yes.
And so it's even if there is a world in which Modi has done a lot of good for India, in terms
Sure.
of like bringing us up to speed or bringing India up to speed, like technologically and helping with, corruption or,
Yeah.
getting the dirty money out or the black money out, they called it that he did. And like, there's, sanitization
Yeah.
has been good. Like there's good supposed, economically good things that he's done. It's hard for me when the rhetoric, right?
That's it. Yeah.
It's like when the rhetoric is so separatist or like, oh, we're not just trying to get our sanitation up to speed. We're trying to sanitize the country from
Right. That
minorities.
gets very scary.
That's
Yeah.
when you're like, that is not okay.
Yeah.
And I hear it from from a lot of folks, not maybe not necessarily my dad saying that specific thing, but I hear it from his group. I hear it from
Yes.
I get the email chain sent over to me,
The WhatsApp
the
notifications.
WhatsApp
Yeah.
notifications, and you're just like, this can't be good.
Yeah.
So that's sort of where I land with that. At the same time, you're like, well, India is a linchpin nation.
Right.
India is the largest democracy in the world,
Hmm.
and I feel Modi being at the head of it makes it challenging for me to like want to engage because I know it's going to put me in direct conflict with the very ones that I love.
Yeah.
And so in some ways, I've been trying to almost ignore it and just kind of
Yeah.
keep like, just sort of drown it out. And
Right.
that's I think what I'm realizing is that's not okay. I can't do that.
It's so
I
interesting
can't do
because
that.
like for a while and this is sort of the right, like you said, the confused part. Like, I live in the States. I've only really visited India a couple times. So for a while I was kind of like, but where is my presence in this conversation? And
Hmm.
how needed is that aside from outside, perspective? And then the conversations within my family started to shift a little bit to the part where my dad expressed that he was uncomfortable, and he's from Pakistan.
Mm.
Grew up in England, but is originally from Pakistan, and was talking about how a lot of the anti-Muslim sentiment and the anti-Pakistani sentiment is like he hears it,
Hmm.
and if it's enough for him to hear, I was like, "Ooh, that's getting bad." And then it occurred to me one day where I was like, "Oh, I'm half." Like,
Hmm.
oh wait, when I go to India, this could be a problem. Um,
Yeah, what
and
happens there
that's like,
does
yeah,
not stay there either. Like
exactly, yeah.
where they
And not
are
that
in.
like, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. No, go ahead.
Oh, I mean, like, not that like any rhetoric where it's like we are culturally going to discriminate is ever okay. But I think that I was like, I can talk about this from the outside, and then suddenly I was like, wait a second. No, I'm actually directly affected by this. Like, I
Yeah.
can speak as someone who's like, ooh, I don't know if I can go to like a wedding with the way that things operate and the way that people are talking. And it would take you all of 0.2 seconds to look up how schools are being affected,
Mm.
how the way that Muslim people in India dress affects their safety on a fundamental basis, and that entire dialogue is the kind of thing where I feel like we saw a lot of world leaders during COVID were just like, I'll actually find a different problem to focus on because I'm
Yeah.
not going to beat this, and I don't want to lose votes. So yeah, it's a thing that's now become like a pretty big topic in my family in terms of us being like, we actually do need to talk about this.
Yeah, and I think you know, the thing that I'm realizing too is that like India is even just like on a global scale, right? Like
Hmm.
it is the largest democracy. It's not the most populous place in the world.
Right.
It's projecting to be it's one of the only, you know, one of the only major democracies that is actually producing more children.
Right.
Like literally, like populations are declining elsewhere.
Yeah.
Not in India, which means there was an interesting graphic that I just saw recently, where it shows like the population of Indians of the world in 2050.
Uh huh.
It sort of shows like the ages, like the general ages of the population,
Hmm.
meaning that like so if you take they called it prime age,
Okay.
which is like I assume 20s 30s, like how young you are, like in
Right.
terms of workforce stuff like that. India is going to be like at the top, and
In
so
2050.
in 2050.
Hmm.
um and US is kind of still up there, China still up there, but like India is going to grow massively there, and it's like a huge
Right.
demographic shift. And experts are saying that like, oh, that's going to change global balance of power. And right now
Right.
India is this really, it's politically so interesting because it doesn't take a lot. Like I listened to this whole podcast, which you guys should listen to, by Mohammed Zishan.
Hmm.
Incredible. But India tends to be neutral on
Yeah.
so much, and yet it's the world's democracy. And so if they're not standing up for human rights in, say, Yemen, or in these in these African countries that are in civil war, like if they're going to become this economic global powerhouse, right?
Yeah.
Like they need to, we want them and us, I guess, by virtue of that, us to be on the right side of the human rights
Yes.
coin, right?
Yeah.
Like that should be important to us in the diaspora, even in the, in the ABCD confused diaspora. Like,
yes.
Like, cause that is going to represent us. Like, think about the, our Chinese American friends and their relationship to their home country's government.
Yeah.
It's not a great one for most of them. Like they're not going back. They're not sitting there going like, oh, I love our communist autocratic state, right?
Yeah.
But like India, it's like a point of pride, right? To be like, oh, India is like the largest democracy in the world. Like we're on the right side. We're push. And so we're at this tenuous place, right, where it could kind of shift. And so our voices, I think it's just, if there's anything I wanted to come out of this with and to say to other confused desis like me, is that we can't sit by and ignore it because we feel like it's hard for us to engage in it. I think it's incumbent upon us to engage in it.
Yes.
And so I'm just going to hold myself accountable by saying, let's get more engaged in it.
Ooh, I love that.
I
love that. You know what?
At least an understanding of it.
Yeah, so I'm gonna throw up third eye chakra for this one then. Like, I think that it is in terms of like that being the basis of like taking your energy and putting it there. That's very, very true. It's a thing to like, because again, 0.2 seconds of Googling, the way that judges have immunity in India is a huge element. And if this is the foundation of how things are going to be built, it's going to make it's going to make a lot of the ways that we get around having a functioning society in America look like a joke. To put it as easily as possible. So taking a lot more accountability and being present in that conversation. And that's how we kind of started, where we both were like, well, we're ABCDs. And now it's like, no, we are involved. Like,
do you get this a lot? I mean, I'm sure you get this a lot. Like, oh, you just don't you don't understand. But better, you don't just keep your head out. Like, just,
and I used
you
to,
don't get it. You've been born. You've been in America your whole life. You don't. This doesn't.
How would you know? You don't come here. You don't know. And it's just like a thing where I'll absorb it. And now I will give the pushback of like, right. But imagine if this was you. Like, imagine if you were walking home from your university or something. Like, I'll actually give like no, this is logical. Like, human rights is not like some like very specific niche like insight. And it's been a thing that I've had to kind of get to, and I'm now so comfortable with it with my cousins and aunties and uncles. Just like when I'll give them pushback now, because I get that all the time.
Yeah, I think it's important to push back, and I think it's important to get informed. I will say this: listening to that podcast, I learned so much from it. I'm gonna throw a couple little facts at you.
Yeah,
or
hit me with them.
I'll say true or false. Ready? True or false? Okay. That I learned from this thing. I learned some wild things. True or false? More people speak English in the U.S. than India.
I'll say true.
That more people speak English in the U.S. than India?
There's more English speakers in the U.S. than there are English speakers in India.
It's false.
No.
There are more. Yeah, just in sheer number, obviously not percentage. Right. It's not even close. But more people speak English in India than in the U.S.
Okay. Hit me with another one of these. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fun. We're having fun. This is fun. Okay.
Democracy is at stake. Here we go.
Yeah, here we go. India has a minority population the size of Brazil.
So the minority population, so like what's that, like non-Hindu, non-indigenous Hindu?
Yeah.
Population is the population of Brazil?
Yeah.
Or smaller?
Is the size of the country Brazil. Size of the population.
I'll say true.
Bing, bing, bing. Correct. Like
there's a whole Brazil of minorities.
There's a Brazil of minorities. So when we're talking about the minority population that's being, called out and persecuted or made to feel unwelcome, we're talking about an entire nation, Brazil-sized nation of people.
Holy smokes.
Right? It starts to give you some perspective. Okay, you want some more?
Let's get some more. Let's get some more.
Okay. Okay. This is the percent of professors at Indian universities that come from outside of India.
Okay, are you gonna give me a
so
true or
this
false,
is
or you want me to
interesting.
just guess?
This I'm gonna tell. Yeah. Why don't you guess? Yeah, the percent of professors at Indian universities that come from outside of India. Obviously, speaking to the idea of bringing in new ideas, diverse viewpoints, and teaching the who's going to be the next leaders in India.
Right. Right. What's the global perspective?
Right? Yeah.
I'm gonna say 38%.
That might be closer to what the American number is. I'm not actually even sure, but it's 5% of professors.
So professors in Indian universities, 95%
are from India.
From India.
So meaning they don't necessarily get a very global perspective. That's a lot of what Mr. Mohammed Zishan, who was talking about in his, and he's like a political science. He went to Columbia University and has all this incredible vast knowledge about foreign policy in India, and it speaks to the scale of the issue we're talking about, which is if we want India to be a democracy that's going to lead the world, then it needs to be representative of a heterogeneous group, like that works together. The minority population, the majority population. That you don't need to know
society.
Yeah, you don't need to know facts, and figures to just sort of understand the morality of that, right? Like that we want people in the minority population of whatever country that they are living in to be represented in the leadership, so that there can be laws that make sure that they are taken care of and have a voice, right?
Yeah, there's sort of like a double-edged fallacy in a way, right, with this, and then I promise you, everyone, the next segment will be funny. But but it's a thing where you on some level want to, when we're talking about other cultures as Americans, that you want to protect other cultures from imperialism and colonialism, just because that's we go in and we're like, everyone now drinks Coca-Cola and you love the American army. That's a thing that America does around the world. But the other, and so when people are just we're cutting that, we're going to protect what makes India, right? We're going to keep India great. The other side of that sword, right? The other side of that edge is anyone who challenges the ideas of the people who define what makes India are a threat. And so you have people at universities, you have people who are trying to push society forward, to fight for human rights, anything that then those people, and it's not even questioning Indian values, because there's the entire paradox of the Hindu extremists who are no sexuality, and you're like, dog, look at your temple. This is who you're coming after, really? But it is that fact of whoever gets to define Indian identity holds the power to then say, we need to punish anyone who questions the power I have. And that's the big issue. And that's the scary thing. Like you're saying, in 2050, if that's the case, it needs to be an open, breathing, healthy, progressing society versus one that's holding on to this sentiment. And anyone who says you're disagreeing with this ambiguous sentiment, we're going to punish you with physical violence, with oppression. That you can't do that. And so that's why those numbers are a little scary to me.
Yeah. Well, okay. Speaking of the next segment, do we feel like we've exhausted this? Have we talked out this confusion enough? I mean, probably not. This probably just scrapes the surface in some ways.
I like the landing ground of let's get involved in the conversation.
Yeah.
Let's take up that space. Let's get there. And if you are I know, but I'm not, I don't live in Calcutta or something like that. No, get involved. Read as much news as you can. Absorb as much as you can. I'm going to be dedicated to it. I'm going to be talking to my family. I need to visit more. It is something that's going to affect all of us. I'm going to be around in 2050, I hope.
I'll say this about the Indian diaspora, right? We're the largest diaspora in the world. We're the largest, and Indians in the diaspora become leaders of the free world. This is true, right?
Yeah.
We got Kamalanti,
Yeah.
right?
We're running
And
London.
Yeah, we're running London right now. I think New Zealand, right? We got some folks in the upper echelons in New Zealand.
Got
I mean,
some
like
homies in Canada doing stuff. Yeah.
but it's true. It's true, and that just means it gives India incentive to stand up for democracies because then they can
Yes.
entreat more easily with democratic nations. And so it's
Yeah.
important for us to care about the democratic health of
Yes.
of India.
The world.
That's all I'll
Yeah.
say. That's it. That's all I've been understanding in my really basic research. But all right, listen. But Omar,
Yes.
what if we were politicians?
What if we were politicians?
That would be bad for the world.
That would be terrible for the world. That'd be
What
absolutely
if
terrible
we
for the
were
world.
politicians? Because let's find out. Because we're about to have our ABCD Prime Minister debate.
This is ABCD Span.
$7,000,
Wow.
folks. That's how much we spent on that intro. $7K.
We like took a loan out on the Patreon.
Yeah.
Like we brought it to the bank. We're like, here's how many patrons we have,
Yeah.
and now we have to pay it back for the next like 40 years. But
They own the Patreon. The
Yeah,
bank
yeah.
owns the Patreon.
oh man, that's amazing. All right, we're here. ABCD Span.
Yes.
All right,
Here we
gentlemen.
are.
So for the debate,
We-
the 2023 Prime Minister election, Omar Najam, you are of course the incumbent, current Prime Minister of
you.
ABCD, as decided in the
Thank
previous
you.
episode. Sandeep,
Boo.
you are here to challenge
Hey.
Omar and his.
Hey.
divisive
let's be
politics.
civil.
So we're gonna give you each.
Who's my opponent?
We're gonna give you 1 minute. Who's your opponent? Sandeep.
Wait a sec. Wow, let's be civil. Let's be civil. Who's your
Boo.
So we're gonna do on 1 minute timers
No,
for
that
each of your
was it.
responses each time. So you got to keep it succinct. You got to keep it tight. Debate
Okay.
style. You got it?
I just
It's
want to be
debate
clear.
style.
I was saying boo like you're my boo, man. I was like, this is like it was like a term of endearment.
Listen, already flip flopping. Already flip flopping. So we're gonna get like we're gonna get a thing to argue.
Yeah. So I'm gonna present the topic to you.
Yeah.
Omar, as
It's
the
a
Prime
debate.
Minister, who
Yeah.
currently setting policy, will define and defend your policy. And Sandeep, you will
Amen.
Yeah.
you'll then retort with your stance on the issue.
Rebut,
Probably
okay.
probably
Mhm.
opposite, since otherwise, if you all agree, why should they elect you in the first place?
Okay, so I have to take the opposite.
what I'm
You don't,
obviously.
saying.
you don't
Why
have
even
to take
know?
the opposite. I'm
Why-
just saying, like, you're not going to get elected if you disagree
Don't
with
be
everything.
reactive.
So, like,
You don't
if
know.
I make a good point, let me run.
I'm just gonna agree the whole time.
yeah,
All
so
right,
spend 1
listen.
minute just congratulating Omar.
I just want to be clear to the listeners at home and
Yeah.
to the listeners live right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it will become fairly self-evident, but we have not been shown these categories.
We have no idea what's
I
going
have
on.
no idea what's going on. So I'm sure
If
it'll
I have
be
to
obvious.
yassify Dave Chappelle again, I swear to God.
All right,
All right, let's go.
first topic.
Yeah.
Crocs have become a very divisive thing on our show and in our culture today. So
Mhm.
going forward, do we excommunicate those who wear Crocs, or do we make Crocs mandatory?
Folks, hi, how's it going? You're Prime Minister again. It's so good to see you. Listen, you get up in the morning and you have so many decisions to make. What you gonna have for breakfast? What podcast you gonna put on? Probably ABCD. That's what I listen to every morning. You know what decision I don't want to make? What am I gonna wear on my feet on my way out? Jupples, Converse, a mixture of Converse Jupples. Those don't exist. Oh, now I have a headache. Folks, let me make this decision easy. It's Crocs, 24/7. Only Crocs. Don't worry about the tough stuff. That's what the government's for. So, me as Prime Minister, I'll take care of the difficult decisions so you can take the rest of your time hanging out with your family or avoiding them. Either way, you're wearing Crocs. Vote for me. The rest of the time I donate to Sandeep.
Very charitable.
Wow, how generous for someone who's trying to autocratically command what type of
Oh.
footwear you
Oh.
adorn yourself every day. I mean, once again, the Najam administration, from the very top, you're hearing it, people. He wants to take away your choice in shoe. Now, are Crocs awesome? I'm a dad. Of course they're awesome. I love my Crocs, okay? They're incredible. And all these Croc haters, like, get over it. Just get over
Okay.
it. It's weak. But to
Okay.
demand that everyone should be wearing Crocs at all times, and to give to take the choice away from the people in the free market. I mean, this is an outrage. This is an absolute outrage. That boo that was so endearing earlier has turned into real boos. I can't believe that you'd want to force people to wear the polka dotted holed shoes at all times. This is disgusting. This is an overreach, and this is just indicative of what a life under that would continue under a Najam administration would be like.
I'm sorry.
Come on,
I'm
people.
sorry, Mr. Parikh. I'm sorry. That's your time. That's your time.
Can
No, no,
I
I
get
have 10 more. I have 10 more things to say. I wasn't just repeating myself. I have more.
Is that so? We each get one, or is there a chance I could kind of pop in and just give a little?
Oh, he gets a
That's it,
rebuttal.
huh?
Rebuttal. Oh, cool. This is
Yeah, but
classic.
if that's it, if that's all we got, that's all we
The
got.
plan here is you're going to get your 1 minute apiece each time. Okay, Omar, you have a
That's
large
it,
advantage
then.
being able to set your policy right off the bat. So giving you the opportunity to also retort is just a bit too much for the ruling party. Perhaps you could set that as a new law going forward if you maintain your
Yeah,
position
but
in
then
office.
I could stay in power. Okay,
right.
I'll let the people decide.
All right, next topic up here. Family members who are on extreme opposite sides of the political spectrum from you. Do they
Mhm.
get seconds for dessert?
Is this who does this go to?
There's always going to be
This is-
Omar to start with. As
this is
Prime
Oh,
Minister.
oh.
Got it. Okay.
Folks, you have so much to worry about these days. You get up in the morning, you're like, what kind of podcast do I listen to? I know for me, it's ABCD every morning. But one thing you shouldn't have to worry about is how to tell your family that they need to reflect on their political viewpoints and how they describe them and decide them, which is why I'm looking to put out a new law, a law that says folks who have an extreme political reaction to you, they don't get seconds in dessert. Now, they can have the first. That's quite all right. But second, that's going to take some harmonious dialogue that they will be the ones to initiate. It's an odd way to go about this, but I'm looking to have a society that works together and hopefully eats seconds together. The rest of my time is donated to Sandra.
There's no more time.
I'm sorry, Mr. Prime Minister, you're out of time.
I'm not even sure what just happened. Are you saying you're pro giving them seconds?
If they change their ways.
Wow. Once again, the regulation of free speech and free consumption of delicious goods is large and in charge. He's all about
come on.
regulating everything.
on.
This is again disgusting behavior by Najam. Listen, if it's up to me, the only way we're gonna work together if to get into those messy parts, those sticky areas that we don't want to talk about, is if we're sharing some gulab jamun. Obviously, let's get through the sticky parts by smothering sticky gulab jamun into each other's
What?
mouths. Yes,
What is this?
This is how the world is gonna come together and stick like ras malai at the roof of your mouth. Is if we share desserts and our differences.
My goodness. My appetite's gone, folks. I know rebuttal, but my appetite is gone.
Another
right.
ad hominem attack by the
Next.
Najam administration.
Next up here. So,
Okay.
as part of the cultural re-education of our community, we're going to be setting
Yeah.
a movie as a mandatory watch.
Okay.
Will that movie be Barbie or Oppenheimer, and why?
Barbara
Folks.
versus Barbie versus Oppenheimer. Okay.
Folks, I love having a good time as much as you. Truly, I do. I wake up in the morning, I listen to ABCD every single morning. But listen, folks. Sometimes it's not a good time. Like, for example, our history. We've done things as a country that we need to really take some time and reflect on. And hey, I wish I could sit everybody down and enjoy a flick featuring the talented Ryan Gosling, but I do think it's we need to talk about warfare, what that does to people, and how it affects other countries and how we got there. So please watch Barbie. I'm not going to make you do it, but please watch Barbie. But we are going to sit down as a nation, and we are going to watch Oppenheimer, all 5 miles of film of it, and we're going to have a serious discussion. Yeah. The rest of my time goes to Sandeep.
You have no time remaining, Mr. Prime Minister, but thank you. That's very generous.
I said what I said. Yeah.
All right, Mr. Parikh, the floor is yours.
The clearly anti-women stance
Wow.
of Mr. Najam's fascist regime is just full bore in front of us. Can you believe this? Of course, directed by Greta Gerwig. That's a threat to the Najam administration, clearly.
Wow.
So at our table, we are watching Barbie. We are enjoying this clever take on a beloved, if problematic, old toy that so many grew up with, and the brilliant reframing that Greta Gerwig is going to do is the type of reframing we need to think about for our country. We need to reframe out of this oppressive Oppenheimerish, disgusting, authoritarian, boots on our neck administration. I have so many more adjectives, though. I have 7 more adjectives. I have to.
Rick, can somebody grab the mic,
okay,
please?
Fine.
Ring,
I rest
ring,
my
ring,
case.
ring,
We're
ring.
watching Barbie.
I'm sorry. 1 second. Ring. Hold on. Hello, Miss Emily Blunt. Oh yeah, he's just ignoring the whole fact that you're in this movie. Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, credited.
I'm sorry about that, Miss
credited
Emily Blunt.
8th on the bill. I think they listed Robert Downey Jr.
We had to make sure that
3
Matt Damon was
times.
in.
Yeah.
We had to make after Interstellar, we had to make sure we had to surprise Matt Damon.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, the legislature has nailed down our new national theme song to 2 possible options.
Okay.
You've got your line of veto power to decide which of these 2 songs is our new national theme going forward. Will it be Miley Cyrus's Party in the USA or Rebecca Black's Friday, and why?
Now, folks, it's important to look forward to something. You know me, I wake up every morning, I look forward to listening to our ABCD podcast.
Repetition is the key.
It's important to have direction. And I want us to have direction, which is why I'm saying Rebecca Black's Friday is the direction we're going to go. And it's Friday. No matter what day it is. It's good news that Friday's coming down the road. Now, maybe it's a Monday. Hey, Friday's coming. Maybe it's a Tuesday. Hey, Friday's coming. Wednesday, Thursday. Friday's coming. It's Friday. Well, guess what? The song's right. It is Friday. Saturday. Hey, Friday was yesterday. Sunday. That's not too bad, but don't worry, Friday will come down the road. So I'm going to go Friday. It gives us something to unify and to celebrate. And also, I'd like to say that Miley Cyrus says that she lands at LAX and is able to see the Hollywood sign while she's turning right onto 405 or something like that. Miley, that's not how you get around LAX. 405 don't work like that. That's so silly. I relinquish the rest of my time.
Thank you. As again, you have no time remaining, Mr. Prime Minister, but thank you for sticking to your allotted time. Mr. Parikh, the floor is yours.
Which song has USA in it over and over again? Which song is more patriotic? I think the answer is obvious. I mean, my tummy's turning every time I hear Mr. Najam speak of his Croc edict and his forced shotting of the American people.
Wow.
I'm feeling kind of homesick of a world where we aren't forced to consume Oppenheimer, like that Stanley Kubrick movie that I can't remember right now. With our eyes peeled
Barry
open.
Lyndon.
There's too much pressure, and I'm nervous of a world in which we don't have the rights to watch a female
Eyes wide shut.
film. This is terrible. And the Jay-Z song was on. And the Jay-Z song was on.
Mr. Parikh, if you could please respect
And I put my hands up.
You and your
and they're
opponent are
playing
both
my
using
song.
a
The
limited period of
butterflies
time.
fly
Mr. Parikh,
away.
please.
I'm nodding my head
Please,
like,
Mr.
yeah.
Parikh, could you
I'm
please
moving
respect-
my lips
Could you
like,
please
yeah.
respect?
It's a party in the USA. It's a party in the USA.
Where are those butterflies gonna go? Where are those butterflies gonna go? You make them fly away? They just settled. Interesting. All right.
All right, this is the final topic we have here.
It's just word salad.
I've seen a
All right.
presidential debate. I know how these work.
The last but not least, this is probably the most divisive topic we have here.
All right.
Oh no.
May and or shall woodchuck chuck wood, and if so, how much wood may or shall they chuck if said woodchuck can chuck wood?
Now I'm of the firm belief that that you can do anything you want if you put your heart to it. Now, every morning I wake up, it's not easy. It's a struggle sometimes. I get that. Yeah, I get up. And sometimes it takes me a couple minutes to get my ABCD podcast going every single morning. But let me tell you what. A woodchuck can chuck as much wood as you want. Now, I know I put a lot of regulations in place, and that scares some folks. But I'm here just to make the hard decisions so you don't have to. I'm here to answer that call at 2 a.m. so you don't have to. I'm here to do the things at night that are, quite frankly, illegal for a government to do so you don't have to or know about it. And yeah, we'll profit from those decisions. You won't. You don't have to. I think a woodchuck chuck as much as a woodchuck wants because, hell, this is America. And it ain't just a party in the USA. It's a family in the USA. Thank you very much. I relinquished the 2 seconds I had.
All right, Mr. Parikh, the floor is yours.
I don't think the question is how much would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood. The question is,
Literally
can
not
a
the question.
woodchuck chuck wood in this climate with no health care?
Yeah.
With the minimum wage stagnating in a world where we're dealing with inflation, the woodchuck can't even support its woodchuck family right now. It's got a whole. It's got to be chucking wood. It's got to be a greeter at Walmart. It's got to be waiting tables. It's got to be doing 3 jobs at the same time just to make a living in a Najam-led world. It's time if the woodchucks, us all woodchucks out there, we got to look each other in the eye. We got to stop chucking wood for the man, and the man is Najam. It's in his name. N-A-M, and all letters of man are in his name, and he's the man, and he's holding us down, and we're not going to be able to chuck. We're not chucking wood for you anymore. We're going on strike. The woodchucks are going on strike. That's all I'll say.
That concludes our topics.
Wow.
We're starting the election in Twitch chat at this time.
I like that you really embraced the autocracy. Like you were like, yeah, I'll regulate. Yeah, no, it's I'm gonna be the one that profits. I just want to say I respect that. I respect
so you don't
that.
have to. I don't want you to have to worry about that.
It's so much harder to do your taxes when you have too much profit.
Let us have all your information, but still not process your taxes for you.
Wow, everyone's going for Omar Najam. I can't believe you guys are just all anti-labor. This is really something.
Listen to that,
At
folks.
a time.
He's watching. He's over your shoulder in the voting booth, whispering in your ear like Beelzebub himself. Don't let him do that. I want you to vote with your heart. Okay?
You got to do. That's 4-4 right now. Oh my gosh.
Whether you're sitting in the front seat, whether you're sitting in the back seat, it's Friday. It's Friday. Gonna get down. It's Friday.
I'll tell you, it'll be a single party in the USA if Omar Najam is able to keep up his voter suppression tactics.
Fewer choices you gotta make now. You can focus on your family. You can focus on which flavor Doritos you kids want. I have based this entire character off of one ad that was like a Scottish political ad where it's like, you clearly have too much to worry about. Let us tell you how to vote.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Oh God, yeah. Clearly, I think the thing I learned is that both of us would be terrible politicians. That's for sure.
Yep.
Yeah. And by that, we'd be great.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, we certainly have the gift of just talking until someone tells us to stop talking.
Yep.
Which is like, I feel like kind of all you need.
You, me, and Ted Cruz. All we needed is just like one outdated pop culture reference, and that really would have solidified us as like a working senator. Well,
man.
Mr. Burns one time said.
All right, where's the vote at? What are we doing here?
It's currently at 5-6. We're about
time.
All right, so we'll let it go. We're gonna let it run.
We'll let it run.
While we move to Desi of the Week.
Yes. Oh, I'm so excited about this. This week, our Desi of the Week is totally not political. We are going over to some beautiful summertime sports. Are you ready for this, Sandeep?
Oh, I'm ready.
I know you're a fan.
I'm so excited.
We are talking about Arjun Nimmala. Yes. The Toronto Blue Jays selected high school shortstop Arjun Nimmala with the number 20 pick in this year's MLB amateur draft. Arjun Nimmala, just an incredible player. At age 17, they're one of the youngest players in this year's class, and the Blue Jays are betting that he'll mature into an even more powerful player. The Blue Jays amateur scouting director Shane Farrell said the team favored the shortstop out of Strawberry Crest High School in Dover, Florida, because his tool package combined with the age and overall upside.
And he makes a mean biryani.
Yeah.
I think the team needs it.
But an absolute powerhouse of an athlete.
How cool is this?
Yes.
We have an Indian dude drafted in the first round of the freaking MLB draft. This is so cool. I mean, certainly never, I don't think ever happened when I was younger. I would have flipped out. Like, I was the kid. I don't know if you identify with it. I'm a huge baseball fan. I was the kid that laid out all my baseball cards, memorized the stats, would just like sit there all day as if it was my office, like sorting my baseball cards. Like,
you moneyballed.
I moneyballed. I just loved immersing myself in baseball. So like, if I had an Arjun Nimmala card, I would be. I would be freaking. I'm definitely gonna get his card. I haven't bought a baseball card in so long, but I am getting this dude's baseball card. Come hell or high water. I hope you never know with draft picks, especially in the MLB. It's very no one's guaranteed anything because he's the kid 17. But this is really fucking cool for me. For me personally, and I know that's why he did it. Was for me, but I'm just loving it. So I'll give you some more stats. He was ranked number 8 on the Athletics top 100 prospects. Okay. Number 8, that's huge. And let's see, his high school coach, not biased at all, said, I don't think I've ever seen anybody hit with the same amount of power that Arjun hits with. Like, I love that he's a power hitter too. Like, he's not like and bless Ichiro's heart, but like, I would have guessed if the first Indian dude to be like drafted would have been like a slap hitter. Like, that would have been my like a slap hitting, like, amazing shortstop who like barely hits 250. No, this dude hits for power and average. Like, that is so fucking cool.
We're used to like my parents will be like, did you hear about the Indian athlete? I'm like, oh, which one? The mascot. Like, so that's where we the realm we play in. This is amazing. This is massive. I'm so excited for this kid's entire career.
I'm bummed he's on the Blue Jays because I'm obviously a Red Sox fan. But look, and this dude's he's the 20th pick, which at slot value is $3.75 million. So
holy smokes!
I'm not just saying this so that he invests and becomes a Patreon on our show at the highest $1 million tier.
Yeah, but you wouldn't miss it. You wouldn't miss it.
Where I just like, anytime you text me, I show up with whatever food you home cooked food you want. That's what the $1 million tier is. Just become your.
And I'll send a cameo.
Servant.
I'll send a little cameo of you.
Fucking prime ministers, man. They just sit back and do whatever. But very cool.
Amazing.
We're super stoked. Good time for Indian Americans in sports.
Yes.
Right now, there's also the Major League Cricket league that's just starting up this year. So this is cool.
This is wild.
By the way, we might talk about this more in depth later. But there is an LA Major League Cricket team called, and I feel like it's the coolest name ever, the Knight Riders. It's the Knight Riders.
That's perfect.
Nice.
That's perfect.
And David Hasselhoff, I believe, is the mascot.
Yeah.
It's just him. He just comes out and waves.
A little bit.
He does like 7 back handsprings and just bounces.
Yeah, and it leaves. And no one knows who he is because it's a Desi audience that doesn't get the reference.
Well, what they know is the Punjabi MC song that kind of has the Knight Riders.
Yeah, you're right.
And they're like, okay, yes, this is great.
Okay, all right.
I think the captain of the team is also an Indian. I mean, maybe that's not surprising, but the captain of the team is an Indian. But this is so cool.
This is huge. Arjun, congratulations, man.
Yeah, congratulations. This is huge. We're loving it.
This makes me so excited.
Has the poll ended yet? Where are we at?
The polls are in.
Who is it?
Oh my God,
I don't think you're gonna be happy with this.
I'm not gonna look.
It's still 50-50.
It's an exact tie, which I believe, according to our bylaws, in the event of an exact tie, the incumbent loses their position and the challenger takes over.
I love that law. Dude, I love that law.
Prime Minister-elect Sandeep Parikh, congratulations on winning this election.
Thank you so much. Yeah, yep, that's a real law.
No, but the people voted.
In classic form, without getting a majority vote, you have been elected prime minister. I think it's very fitting.
Yeah, exactly. Tie goes to change. That's what we do here. We gotta just change the laundry.
We won't forget this. We won't forget this. My people, we won't forget that. We'll rise again. We won't forget this.
Come at us. We have the woodchuck contingent on our side. We're gonna gnaw your ankles.
The woodchuck, and then you keep that. You gnaw that ankles. Imagine we're beavers with an alarm clock of running water. We don't sleep.
Yeah, go watch your war movies.
Oh, we will. Oh, we will. Oh, we will. It's going to be 7 hours long, and our ears won't be able to register noise after it. But we will.
Yeah.
We will.
All right. And the soundtrack will just be blah. Okay. All right.
All right, folks. And that's the show. As always, if you want to see our lovely faces, the VOD, and other ways to hang out with us are in the show notes. If you could do us a huge favor, please rate and comment wherever podcasts are available. That helps us out so much. Comment, suggestions, feedback can be sent to abcdpodcastshow@gmail.com or hit us up on Discord.
And go to DesiQuest.com. That's our sponsor. That's going to be our next show that we're so excited. It's a TTRPG that stars us and other amazing folks. So hit that mailing list up on DesiQuest.com and watch the trailer. It's right there. Enjoy.
So good, so good. And we want to send a huge, huge thank you to our Patreon supporters. But instead of saying it, maybe we should sing it?
Shit.
Sean,
and the
don't
new
you dare cut
government
a
is
single second of this.
The new government is already falling apart, completely unprepared.
We got to pick different genres for this. That's what we're going to do next. Next time, we're picking a genre at the beginning of the show for us to do the final names. I think it'll be more
80s Euro techno.
The last people I'd like to thank are the Patreons who put money into our bank, which include Joshua Orion, Talby M. Carlo Wuzak, Benjamin Lowe, Hunter P. Brown, Miranda Hollinger, Evaded, Michael Long, Christina Romero, Danny's Corner, Railing Fox, Selena B., Adam Nickerson, Nebish Heretic, Nervous Rex, Sarah H., Grassy Santa Cruz, Tadeka Katuplet, Jeremy O'Brien, Veruca Salt, Varun, Moldy Ford, Ali Oxenfree, Philip Tyson, Captain Schlegel, Takati, Gregory Catino, and you know this girl. She's got the spark. She's the one and only Laura Clark, and we love to hit the Mac with Scribbles and Flapjack. And the thing about this last guy, he's got a gorgeous face. He's the sexiest man in Ohio, and his name is the real Brandon Pesa.
The show's produced by Diego Lanao. The show's technical director and sound designer is Delvin Neville. The show's executive producers are Sandeep Parikh and Anand Shah. This is edited by Sean Mayer. Music by Herschel Sisodia, Jasvir Singh, and Malik Saveri. This has been an EffinFunny production. And quick shout out to our friend Monroe, who left a party to tune in. I just wanted to shout that out on behalf of our
Monroe.
Monroe
huge.
just left. Was like, oh, all right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go check this out.
Forget real people in front of my face. Come hang out with us virtual people. I love it.
On behalf of our co-host Sandeep Parikh, I've been your host Omar Najam, and I say we will get back in power. May your chakras be aligned and smothered in chutney.
Never.